Hi everyone, my name's Emma. This is my response for week 3 discussion. After watching the TED Talk by Celeste Headley, the 10 ways to have a better conversation, um, I don't think any of her points necessarily surprised me, and I feel like I agreed with most of her points. Yeah, I wouldn't really say there was anything I like strongly disagreed with. I thought most of her points and her tips were really um, helpful. Um, the first one that I thought was a good one was when she said don't multitask. When we multitask, we get distracted. We don't necessarily pay attention. When we're writing, that's also very important. Um, I know when I'm writing, I usually add way too many ideas and jump around. I usually just honestly I just type out like a big ramble of what I want to say and then I kind of have to go back and like make sure it flows good. Um, but I think she has a good point to, not tackle so much at once. But it also depends on the writer. So I guess that one maybe I slightly disagree with just because I know, rambling and jumping around helps me write better. Um, and I go back, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. Um, the next point that I thought was pretty good was when she said don't pontificate. Don't talk down to people like you know everything. That's one of my pet peeves is when someone talks down to me like they're better than me or they know better than me. Like just talk to me like as equals. Um, so I think, when writing, it's easy to sound like you're the expert. Um, but if your tone's like too like authoritative, it can kind of turn people off instead of them engaging in your paper. So I think maybe we should write in a way that feels more conversational and open. Because if we kind of sound too bossy, then the writers just might not be more as engaged as they could be. Um, the next one would be go with the flow in conversations, which definitely works for writing too. You don't have to follow a strict plan. When you're writing, you can change things, you can let things evolve. Your writing can probably become more natural if you just let the ideas flow. Um, Instead of sticking to like a strict plan, it kind of makes it sound more forced. Um, and then the next one I want to talk about is one of the tips she said was to be brief, don't ramble on. In writing, in conversations, all of that, I am definitely a rambler sometimes. Like I said earlier, when I type, I just ramble and then I go back and make it more structured. Um, but in writing, you can be brief. We if you apply it to like work, if you send out emails for work, like you don't have to type long, detailed emails when if you can effectively say something within a few sentences and you can get your point across in fewer words, it's easier on the reader or whoever you're talking to kind of absorb what you're saying if it's shorter and more brief. They might understand it better. Um, I think the last one that I'll talk about is when she said to listen. We should think about our audience. We should think about who we're writing for. What do they need from our writing? What might they be like wondering or looking for? If we consider other perspectives, it can make your writing more relatable and easier for your audience to understand. Um, those are just a few of her tips that I thought could help improve our writing and be applied to our writing.